Wellbeing tourism, we create experiences that are good for people and good for the world. On the one hand, we want to serve people and truly nourish the whole person by taking care of the body, the mind, and the soul. On the other hand, we want these experiences to be in harmony with nature and sustainable for the environment, society, and our economy. How do we create a tourism that serves all of us, from the bumblebee to the butterfly, from us here and now to our grandchildren far into the future? In this video, we're going to dive deeply into one very inspiring, creative and yummy part of well-being. One that is at the very core of our daily life. Food. Oh my gosh, we get to talk about food! I love it. Want an apple? Delicious. So simple, so good. What I really like about this topic is that we all eat, we all have kitchens, we all cook for ourselves, we cook for others, and food is such a beautiful way of showing our love and our care for dear ones, friends, family. It is something very human, and what we eat, it influences our health and it also influences our impact on the environment. So in this episode we're going to dive a bit deeper into what does well-being food actually mean? What is it? How do we see it? What are our wishes when we think of well-being food? And also, we as providers of food, how do we create a good offer? Gonna have another bite first. I took my camera and went around to talk with different people. I asked them, what does well-being food mean to you?
Här hittar vi morötter direkt ifrån landet. Så det är ju av alla dess former, både stora och små. Vi är ju väldigt måna om vad vi stoppar i oss, att det ska vara hälsosamt och bra producerade livsmedel. Men också finner vi väldigt mycket njutning i mat.
Lots of fresh, green deliciousness.
Fruits, definitely fruits. And nuts.
Det är ju när du får en tallrik och man bara tittar ner i tallriken och tänker wow, vilken skapelse.
Sprouts, lots of sprouts.
Vooral biologisch eten, dat vind ik wel heel belangrijk. Ja.
For me that's the main thing, having good quality product.
Some fresh vegetables, some fruit maybe.
Local food, of course.
Yeah.
Het liefst ook inderdaad dat het iets is wat lokaal geproduceerd is.
The presentation, the colors.
Yeah, and the variety on the dish also.
Yeah.
Color, texture, flavor of course, but trying to make use of all the senses.
And I prefer like a full plate, not a gourmet plate. It's like cozy.
Yeah, more like home.
En wat met hart en ziel bereid is, dat is ook heel belangrijk. Dat zie je en dat proef je. Ja, dat zie je aan de manier waarop bijvoorbeeld een bord is opgemaakt of een gerecht is samengesteld.
Because you eat with your eyes before you put anything near your mouth. And that to me is really important. Also when I cook.
There are so many things to discover in the dish.
För mig är det i första hand det som är närodlat där jag bor. faktiskt. Fantastiskt här ute. Och åka i en grönsaksbod och så åker man hem och så handlar man kanske lite morötter, så gör du världens godaste morotsjuice.
Yes,
Homemade, but something special. Everything together makes sense.
Jag tänker att en välmående måltid är balanserad. Det handlar om hälsa och njutning med maten, eller njutning och hälsa med maten. Ibland så säger jag till att det är en kärlekshandling till dig själv att skapa en bra måltid.
Why didn't you take any picture? Are you filming?
Vill du ha det in till köket eller?
Nej, det kan vi ha i prinsessrummet också.
Wow, I heard a lot of things in these videos. It's so nice to talk with people and really hear all these different perspectives. And you see that certain things also keep coming back. Nutrition. Another one is balance. We talked about cooking with love. This is something everybody said. Variety. Eating with your senses. I'm definitely gonna keep all these things in mind. First of all, let's talk about the base, because good food starts with good ingredients. And when we're thinking of well-being food, there are 4 things that are very important to keep in mind. And then we think of organic, local, fair trade and seasonal products. So let's look a bit closer to each of these principles. Organic food is grown in a way that is respectful to the environment. So it takes good care of the soil. It tries to regenerate landscapes instead of overusing them. It's about avoiding toxins, not using artificial additives, taking into account natural cycles. When you're working with animals, it takes extra care of that the animals have a good life, that no unnecessary medicine is used, that there's enough space. So these are really important things. When we look at local food, there are a lot of beautiful benefits. One of them is that you cut away part of the transportation. Another good thing is you can support the local economy and you can support local farmers. One thing that follows very easily with buying local is with buying products that are aligned with the season.
Vi har årstiderna och den här årsväxlingen. Man får äta efter säsong. Och det ser jag bara som en glädje och en fördel i vårt land. Att man kan anpassa sin matlagning efter vad som finns att tillgå här och nu. Och det är inte fel att längta lite extra till de där nya gröna skotten som kommer upp på våren. När man har gått en lång vinter och ätit mycket rotfrukter och inläggningar och kanske sånt man har haft i frysen.
Här har vi havrekävar. Och så här har vi potatis. Och brysselkål.
Jättefint. Kan du visa mig den här brysselkålen? Wow, jättestor, eller? One thing that's important also to keep in mind is fair trade ingredients. So, for example, there are certain products where it's extra important that you really take into account how it is produced and how the people are working in these processes. Are they getting a good wage? Are they having safe working environments? Is there no child labor involved? All these things. And then I'm thinking especially about products like, for example, coffee, tea, chocolate. What are raw materials where it's really important to buy fair trade? Now you maybe think, oh, all these things at the same time. How am I gonna do this? But of course, you don't have to go like all the way 100% from the start. But one thing you can do is like slowly start integrating these principles in the way you buy and the way you make your menu. So what is a good practice? One thing you can do, and you can start this now, is start creating a list of good quality local and or organic suppliers and find out what is available. What can I get here in my own area? Visit farmers market, go online, see what is out there. Visit different places also, visit farms and see how they are growing, and you can exchange that certain vegetable for another one in your dish, or exchange this cheese for another cheese. The next big step you can do, number 2, learn about vegetarian and vegan food. When I talk with people, I often hear that vegetarian and vegan food is hard to find. And it's even harder to find good vegetarian and vegan food. So this is actually a beautiful way where you can really distinguish yourself when you can make a good offer.
Nou, dat is er nog niet zoveel, dat je de keus hebt dat je ergens vegetarisch kan eten of dat je veel keus hebt. Dat zeker niet, en dat is ook niet altijd even lekker.
Yeah, sometimes you have the dish, the not vegetarian dish, with ribs, potato sauce, some salad, like really nice and colorful, like I want to eat this. And the vegetarian option or the vegan option is more like dog food.
Or the same dish but without the meat.
Yeah,
it doesn't look nice.
Like, I'm here.
Yeah, it looks like, okay, you get this, you get out of my kitchen.
So one thing that's really important is that the vegan or vegetarian food that you offer is actually an equally beautiful, tasty and nourishing meal as the other meals that you have on your menu. Would a non-vegetarian or non-vegan really love this dish? This is actually one question that I would say is really important to take in mind, because really good food is just really good food. Whether it was plant-based or meat-based, or think of delicious sauces and stews and breads. So what can you do practically to make your vegan and vegetarian offer better? To start with, learn about plant-based proteins. So you could think about all beans and peas, like green peas, sugar snaps, green beans, butter beans, kidney beans, mung beans, all sorts of different lentils. You can think of chickpeas. There's also yellow peas, gray peas. You can think of edamame and soybeans, types of tofu and tempeh, almonds, hazelnuts, walnuts. Oh my gosh, so many plant-based proteins. No, but seriously, there's so much around, and a very good thing, especially when you think of seeds and nuts, they have a lot of really healthy fats as well. Yeah, so learn more about these plant-based proteins. What are beautiful ways to prepare them? What are like original ways to prepare them? Instead of making a weak variant of a meat-based dish, make a dish that is really, meant to be plant-based from the start. And that is nutritionally complete, that is beautiful, that has great flavors. And that, whoever you would put this in front of would be like, wow, this looks amazing. I want to eat this. I want to eat this.
If you have money to spare, then maybe going out to eat at different places that have been recommended in the city or town that you live in. And just talking to people, I think that can be really inspiring as well. How do people get involved in food? Start volunteering at different cafes or soup kitchens, or maybe there's some sort of pop-up restaurants that need hosts for the evening, and that's a great way of getting inspiration as well. And also making sure you get your proteins. That's super important, because eating vegetarian or vegan has unfortunately a bad reputation, that you're malnourished, and that's not true if you know how to eat a balanced diet. So maybe talking to a professional nutritionist or dietitian to get some tips, and also doing some research.
One very important thing also when we talk about vegetarian and vegan food is that, and this sounds maybe funny, but it does happen a lot, be very careful not to accidentally add animal products. They're very easy to miss when you just start working with plant-based food. Number 3. Cooking with love. We heard it. I've heard everybody I talked with, I heard them say, when they answered the question, what is well-being food? They all said, it's food that's made with love. When is food made with love? Because that's rather abstract. And when I ask this question, it's quite hard to answer. It's like, no, you just feel it. Or no, you can just see it. There are actually quite many things practically that you can do to make food with love, or to show your care for the food and for the other person.
I did lots of risottos, and yeah, I have come to a point that every little single detail makes so much difference. Like before, I used to put maybe squeeze a little bit of lemon. Like now, I also like zest the lemon and put some zest in the end. I like infusion the oil with maybe sage or maybe rosemary, depending on the kind of risotto that I'm doing. It's really important is balancing the flavors, no? Like it's always this game of like knowing what is like, if it's, you have a certain flavor and then you need to see what's on the other side, no? Like what goes with sweet, no? And then put a little bit of the other and put a little bit of the other. This curiosity is the biggest quality of the human, no? Like we are curious about things and we want to learn more, no? And also you need to dare, no? To try things. It's about taking little risks in life.
It's about taking that little step extra. Like you just go, you didn't have to do it, but you did it because you care, or because it actually shows the fun you have in making the food, or the passion you have for beautiful flavors or beautiful ingredients. One thing, for example, you can do is work with beautiful toppings. There's all kinds of amazing toppings you can add to a dish that will make it just a little extra special. Think of roasted nuts, for example, or beautiful fresh herbs, edible flowers, pink pepper, or something that really will pop the color, roasted sesame seeds. Another thing you can do is really pay attention to how you put the food on a plate. What we often do is we spread the food around, and we spread it quite evenly, but it's very nice to actually make more interesting shapes, make it asymmetrical, use a moon shape, use stripes or circles, work with height. You truly see it, whether food was just like smacked on the plate or whether it was really put there with care. One thing that people also really appreciate are tiny surprises. And these tiny surprises can be, for example, in the variations that you use, or like uncommon flavor combinations that are not too crazy, but also something that's rather new. And of course, working with fresh ingredients is really important. Like it makes such a difference whether you've opened a can of mushrooms or you are using fresh mushrooms. So now we get to the good practice. How can you start doing this? So what I suggest is you take a dish that you already know how to make, maybe a dish that you love. Ask yourself, how can I make this just a little extra special? And then ask yourself, can I plate this in a beautiful and original way? And thirdly, how can I balance this dish? Is there something missing nutritionally, or is there too much of something? Are the flavors well together? Is there enough variety on the plates? Are the colors beautiful? Yeah. I think that was it.
Woo! Gud vad kul.
With my hands. I cannot talk without this.
Some noodles or...
Thank you so much for watching. With this video you'll find a PDF with insights and starting points, plus links for further inspiration and research. We wish you beautiful meals and inspired cooking.
The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful. You and me.
Också här har vi morötter.
Meant to be
Och då, vad är din favorit?
in the great outdoors.
Och de är så knapriga.
Forever free.
Yummy, yummy.